My phone buzzed during the final wedding dress fitting. Mom's name flashed on the screen, the first contact in months. I let it ring twice more before answering, careful not to disturb the seamstress pinning my hem. June, darling, I've had the most wonderful idea for your wedding. I caught Tam's eye in the mirror. She knew that tone in my mother's voice, the one that meant trouble wrapped in silk. I'm actually in the middle of something, Mom. Jasper should walk you down the aisle. Wouldn't that be perfect? He's so excited about the idea, and it would mean everything to him. You know his own daughter won't speak to him anymore. The seamstress pricked my ankle. I didn't flinch. Grandpa Al is walking me down the aisle. We've discussed this. But sweetheart, Ailes had his moment. He raised you, yes, but this would help Jasper heal. He needs this. I watched my reflection pale beneath the white veil. 6 months of careful planning, of building boundaries, and here was Mom, demolishing them with a single phone call. No. The word came out sharper than I intended. This is my wedding, Mom. Not a therapy session for your boyfriend. Don't be selfish, June. After everything I've sacrificed. I have to go. I ended the call and closed my eyes, feeling the weight of the dress on my shoulders. Tam squeezed my hand. You okay? She's already telling people. My voice shook. Jasper's probably bragging about it right now. The seamstress cleared her throat. All done, Miss Nolan. Would you like to see the final effect? I opened my eyes to study my reflection. The dress was perfect, classic, elegant, everything I'd dreamed of. But now Mom's voice echoed in my head, tainting it with guilt and obligation. My phone buzzed again. 3 messages from Mom. Jasper's already bought a new suit. You're breaking his heart. Don't make me choose between you two. I deleted them all, but the damage was done. The wedding was 6 weeks away, and my mother had just declared war. Des found me in Grandpa Al's attic that evening, surrounded by old photo albums. I hadn't planned to come here, but after the dress fitting, my feet carried me to the only place that ever felt like home. Tam told me about the call, he said, settling beside me on the dusty floor. Your mom's really pushing it this time. I traced a photograph of my 8th birthday party. Just Al and me at the kitchen table, a lopsided chocolate cake between us. Mom was in Cancun that week. With boyfriend number 3, I think. Or maybe 4. The accountant? The real estate agent. He lasted 3 months. I flipped the page, revealing a Christmas morning. This one was boyfriend number 5. He stole Al's golf clubs and Mom's credit cards. Des's hand covered mine, stopping the page turning. June, you don't have to. She left me at a gas station once. The words tumbled out before I could stop them. Boyfriend number 6 didn't like kids. She said she'd be right back, but Al had to drive 40 minutes to get me. I waited 3 hours. My phone buzzed. Another message from Mom. Asterisk Jasper's daughter would kill for this chance. Don't be ungrateful, asterisk. She's posting about it on Facebook, Des said quietly, making it sound like it was already decided. Something snapped inside me. I grabbed my phone and pulled up Mom's latest post. Asterisk so blessed to have Jasper walking my beautiful daughter down the aisle. Family isn't always blood asterisk red heart. The comments were already flowing in. Congratulations. How wonderful. What a special moment. I can't let her win this one, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. She always does this, creates these situations where I'm the villain if I don't play along. Des squeezed my shoulder. Then don't play. It's your wedding, June. Your life. I stared at another photo, Mom beaming at boyfriend number 7 while teenage me stood apart, arms crossed. The same fake smile she'd worn through every relationship, every abandonment, every time she chose someone else over her daughter. I need to uninvite her, I whispered. From everything. The words hung in the dusty attic air, terrifying and liberating all at once. My phone buzzed again, but this time, I didn't look. The rehearsal dinner was supposed to be intimate. Just close family and the wedding party at Al's house. I should have known better. Mom's red convertible screeched into the driveway just as we were setting up, Jasper riding shotgun. Surprise! Mom's voice carried across the lawn, sharp as breaking glass. We brought champagne. Des stepped closer to me, his hand finding the small of my back. Want me to handle this? I shook my head, watching Mom sashay up the path in a dress that outshone my own. No. It's time. Jasper reached us first, arms wide for a hug I didn't return. There's my girl. Been telling everyone at the club about our special moment coming up. What moment would that be? Al's voice cut through the tension. He stood in the doorway, shoulders straight despite his cane. Walking this beautiful bride down the aisle, of course. Jasper winked. Already got the speech written and everything. The champagne bottle slipped from Mom's hands, shattering on the concrete. Daddy, you're not still planning to. We discussed this. Jasper needs. No, Sarah. My voice surprised me with its steadiness. You discussed it. You decided it. Just like you always do. June, darling, don't make a scene. Like you did when you left me at that gas station? Or when you missed my high school graduation because boyfriend number 8 needed emotional support at his jazz concert. Tam appeared with a dustpan, quietly cleaning up the broken glass while Mom's face contorted. I have given you everything. You gave me away. The words exploded from somewhere deep inside. Every time some man showed interest, you handed me off like extra baggage. And now you want to give away my wedding day too. Jasper stepped forward, his charm cracking. Listen here, young lady. No, you listen. I pulled out my phone, opening his daughter's Facebook page. I messaged Katie. Interesting how she says you haven't spoken to her in 3 years because you cleaned out her college fund for gambling debts. The color drained from both their faces. Behind me, I heard AL's soft chuckle. Get out, I said. Both of you. You're not welcome at my wedding. Mom's mascara started to run. You ungrateful little. I said get out. They left, but Mom's parting glare promised this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. The morning after the rehearsal dinner disaster, I found Al in his study, holding a worn envelope. My hands trembled when I saw the return address, County Correctional Facility, dated 15 years ago. Your mother's been calling all morning, Al said, not looking up. Says she has things about your father you need to know before the wedding. I sank into the leather chair across from him. Dad died in prison when I was 12. What else is there? She's claiming he wrote to you. Letters she kept hidden. AL's fingers tightened around the envelope. This one came to me instead. I've held on to it, waiting for the right time. My throat went dry. What does it say? I never opened it. He held it out. It's addressed to you. The paper felt fragile, like it might crumble along with the careful walls I'd built around my father's memory. Inside, his cramped handwriting filled a single page. My dearest June, * your mother tells me you won't read my letters. I understand. What I did to our family, *. The door chimed. Through the window, I saw Mom's red convertible. I'll handle this, Al said, reaching for his cane. No. I folded the letter, tucking it away. I need to do it. Mom burst in before I reached the door, mascara streaked across her cheeks. You have to listen. Your father was a criminal who died in prison. End of story. He's alive. The words exploded between us. He was released last month. He's been trying to contact you. The room tilted. Al appeared beside me, his hand steady on my shoulder. You knew. My voice sounded distant, strange. All this time you knew he wasn't dead? I was protecting you. He's dangerous, June. Why do you think I moved us around so much? Those weren't just boyfriends. They were people who helped keep us hidden. The letter burned in my pocket. Everything I thought I knew about my childhood shifted, revealing new, darker shadows. Get out, I whispered. Just get out. But as Mom left, I caught her final words. He's coming to the wedding, June. Whether you want him to or not. The night before my wedding, Mom ambushed me outside the venue. She wasn't alone. Jasper stood beside her, and behind them, a tall man whose face I hadn't seen in 15 years. Hello, June Bug. My father's prison nickname for me hit like a physical blow. You've grown so beautiful. I backed away, keys cutting into my palm. This is trespassing. We're family. Mom stepped forward, her voice honey-sweet. Your father just wants to make things right. To walk his little girl. Stop. My back hit the wall. You don't get to do this. Not now. Dad moved closer, hands raised like I was a spooked animal. I've changed, June Bug. Done my time, found God. Found God? I laughed, the sound sharp enough to make Mom flinch. Did God tell you where I was all those years you were writing letters? When you were supposedly dead? That was my fault, Mom whispered. I was scared. After what happened? After he nearly killed your boyfriend? The words escaped before I could stop them. I remember the blood, Mom. I remember everything. Jasper cleared his throat. Listen, kiddo, we're trying to help. Your mother's sick with worry. Worry? I pulled out my phone, showing them the screen. These aren't worry texts. These are threats. If you don't let Jasper walk you down the aisle, I'll make sure your father tells Des everything about that night. Dad's expression darkened. Sarah, you said. She says a lot of things. I straightened, finding strength in the anger. But tomorrow, I'm walking down that aisle with the only person who never left me. And if any of you show up, I've got restraining orders ready to file. June, please. Mom reached for me, but I was already moving. I'm done being your puppet. Done with the manipulation, the lies, all of it. I unlocked my car, hands steady now. My wedding starts at 2. The police will be there at 1. As I drove away, I caught a glimpse in my rearview mirror. Mom crumpling into Jasper's arms, Dad standing apart, and the truth finally settling between us all like dust after an explosion. The church bells struck 2 as I stood in the bridal room, my white dress suddenly feeling like armor. Through the window, I watched the security guard's desk had hired checking guests' IDs against the approved list. Everything's secure, Tam reported, adjusting my veil. No sign of. The door burst open. Mom stormed in, wearing white, Jasper and Dad flanking her like guards. You can't do this to me, she hissed. I'm your mother. Get out. My voice shook. Security. Already handled. Jasper smirked. Amazing what a few $100s can accomplish. Dad stepped forward, his prison tattoos visible beneath his suit sleeves. Junebug, this isn't right. Family should. Family. AL's voice cracked through the room like thunder. He stood in the doorway, trembling with rage. Where were you when she had nightmares about the blood? When she cried herself sick after every boyfriend Sarah paraded through our lives? Al, please, Mom's voice turned syrupy. We can all walk her together. One big happy. No. I moved between them, protecting Al. You want the truth? Fine. I remember everything about that night. How Dad nearly killed Mom's boyfriend because he found out about the embezzlement. How Mom chose to lie to protect her lover instead of testifying for Dad. How she told me he was dead rather than admit she'd betrayed him. The color drained from Mom's face. You were 12. You couldn't have. I saw it all. And I kept quiet, because that's what you taught me to do. Stay quiet, stay small, don't upset Mom's perfect world. I turned to Dad. And you? You let her tell me you were dead rather than fight for me. Jasper reached for my arm. Now listen here. The punch caught him square in the jaw. Al stood over him, shaking out his hand. Touch my granddaughter again, I dare you. Security finally arrived, but the damage was done. My carefully planned wedding was unraveling, and through the chapel doors, I could hear the guests beginning to whisper. Des appeared in the doorway, his face grim. June, whatever you want to do, I'm with you. We can postpone, elope. I looked at my fractured family, at the chaos they'd brought to my perfect day, and made my choice. I stepped into the chapel, Ail's arm steady beside me. The whispers died as every head turned. Not toward me, toward Mom, who stood blocking the aisle in her white dress, mascara streaking her cheeks. I won't let you erase me, she announced, her voice echoing. I am your mother. I gave you life. Behind her, Jasper's face changed as he spotted the envelope Al had slipped him earlier. He opened it, eyes widening at whatever was inside. Without a word, he backed away from Mom, heading for the exit. Jazz! Mom's voice cracked. Where are you? Ask your father about the will, he called over his shoulder. And good luck finding someone else to fund your little schemes. Dad stepped forward, but Ail's grip on my arm tightened. Not another step, my grandfather warned. You lost that right 15 years ago. The truth needs to come out, Dad insisted. About that night, about everything. The truth. I lifted my chin. The truth is that neither of you fought for me. Mom chose her boyfriend's money over her family, and you chose prison silence over explaining to your daughter why you tried to kill a man. I was protecting you. Mom's composure shattered. Everything I did moving us around, the men, all of it, was to keep us safe and comfortable. No. My voice carried across the stunned chapel. You were protecting yourself. Your reputation. Your lifestyle. But never me. She lunged forward, but Des was there suddenly, standing between us. Security, he called calmly. As the guards approached, Mom's facade crumbled completely. You ungrateful little. She reached for my veil, but Al moved faster than I'd seen in years. In one fluid motion, he stepped between us, caught her wrist, and said quietly, I should have done this years ago. Goodbye, Sarah. The guards led them both away, Mom screaming, Dad silent. The chapel doors closed behind them with a final thud. Des squeezed my hand. Still want to do this? I looked at our guests, at Ail's proud smile, at the aisle now cleared of everything that had held me back for so long. More than ever. The reception sparkled with fairy lights and laughter. Everything I'd dreamed of minus the family drama I'd always assumed was mandatory. Des twirled me across the dance floor, and for once, I didn't scan the room for potential disasters. Mrs. Callahan, he whispered, you look peaceful. Before I could respond, Al appeared beside us, looking more tired than I'd ever seen him. Mind if I cut in? As we swayed to the music, Al pulled an envelope from his pocket. Found this while cleaning out the attic. It's from your father, the real one. I stared at the weathered paper. Al. Not the man who showed up today, he continued. The one who taught you to ride a bike, who read you bedtime stories when your mother was away. The one who chose you just like I did. Inside was a photograph I'd never seen. Al teaching 3-year-old me to walk, my tiny hands gripping his fingers. On the back, in my father's handwriting, asterisk, thank you for being what I couldn't. For loving her when we failed. Asterisk. He left this before. Al's voice caught. Before everything fell apart. Asked me to give it to you on your wedding day. The music shifted, and across the room, I saw Tam intercepting a delivery. White roses with my mother's familiar handwriting on the card. Without a word, my best friend directed the flowers to the service entrance. You know, Al said, following my gaze, family isn't just about surviving the hard times. It's about choosing each other through them. Des appeared with champagne, his smile bright enough to chase away the last shadows of the day. Ready to make our escape? I hugged Al fiercely, feeling the strength in his arms that had held me through every storm. Thank you for choosing me, I whispered. Always have, always will. As Des and I ran through the sparkler tunnel toward our getaway car, I caught a glimpse of a familiar figure at the gate, Dad watching silently. But this time, his presence didn't shake me. I had my family, the one I'd chosen and the ones who'd chosen me. The car pulled away and I didn't look back.